Hi, my name is Sydney. I'm the owner of Lions Lair Body Piercing, and this video is meant to help educate you on how to heal your navel piercing. Getting your belly button pierced is gonna take 6 months to heal. First part of healing your navel piercing is simply knowing that it's just gonna take some time. The first 3 months of your healing is gonna be the most visual. This is where you're gonna see the blood, the discharge, and eventually some of those healing scabs that are gonna form around the piercing. When you're healing your navel piercing, the two external symptoms that you're gonna have are loose blood, scabs, and crusties, which we're going to use a hot compress for. The other symptoms are discomfort, pain, pinching, swelling, and near the end of the healing, itchiness. Use a cold compress or simply put clean ice on the piercing when you're experiencing any of those symptoms. Always use your H2O after you've used either a hot or cold compress. I promise you that the first half of this healing, the first 1 to 3 months for your navel, are gonna be the most involved. But if you put the time and the energy into listening to your body and learning your body, that the second half of your healing is gonna be so smooth. So your body is going to create a pathway for the jewelry to sit indefinitely. And in order for it to do that, it needs to push lymph out of your body in order to form that cavity. So when you're noticing that there's any white, yellow, or red crusties around the piercing, it's really important that you don't pick or pull off any bloodborne pathogens, as we aren't able to tell what is loose debris and what is connected tissue. So when you're doing your cleaning, if you notice that there's any white, yellow, or red crusties, you'll want to take a paper towel, fold it in half a couple of times, put it under your tap, and get it as hot as you possibly can. This is called a hot compress. Once you have saturated the paper towel completely, you'll actually want to press it into your piercing. Once you've done the hot compress, look at the paper towel. Is there any discoloration on it? If there is, go in for another one. If there isn't, then know that you've done a proper cleaning and that you've lifted all of the loose debris and that you've done an excellent job at keeping that scab intact so that your body can continue doing its natural course of healing. The other form of healing that you're going to be experiencing when you have your navel pierced is there is going to be some discomfort, there is going to be some swelling. So when you're experiencing any of those symptoms, please use a cold compress. You can use ice. You can get a paper towel nice and wet and stick it in the freezer, couple ready to go, so that if you do catch or snag or yank or grab this piercing in a way that really sucks, you're able to put ice on it right away. Because your body has sealed the jewelry in for the first 3 months and you did such an amazing job at not picking and wiping those scabs and letting your body close up naturally, the last 3 months is all internal healing. So it's really important that you just simply remember to use your H2O. The piercing is gonna feel healed and it's gonna look healed. But just remember, your body has been working so hard on the outside of the piercing that the last 3 months is all internal healing. And just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Basic helpful tips for having your navel pierced: clean hands whenever you're touching your piercing. I don't know why, but sometimes with navel piercings, people just want to touch them all the time. It's like something to do. Do not do this. It is not a toy. Get a fidget spinner. If your hands aren't clean, you are literally grinding the day's dirt into the piercing. So please, please clean hands whenever you touch your piercing. You want to keep this piercing out of any water that you wouldn't hypothetically allow in your mouth. People ask me all the time if they can go swimming or hot tubbing or if they can have a bath at home. The biggest rule of thumb is just imagine taking a large glass, filling it up in that body of water you're about to put your fresh piercing in, and then holding the water in your mouth. I'm not talking about swallowing the water. If you would not hold that water in your mouth for as long as you're going to submerge your navel piercing in it, do not put your fresh piercing in that water. Here in the Kootenays, we've got gorgeous rivers and lakes. Feel free to jump in and out, have your cleaning solution around, and make sure you're just not submerging for a long time. Lastly, and this is a new one, for all of you lovelies that embrace the high-waisted pants, for the next 6 months, you will absolutely not be embracing that wonderful cut. Instead, you're gonna wanna wear clothing that's gonna be loose fitted around your piercing and not interacting with it tightly at all. So if you do have pants or leggings that sit just below the piercing, that's absolutely fine. But you just don't wanna have any kind of garment or clothing on that's gonna put any pressure on the piercing and potentially cut the blood flow off. All right, I hope that helps. It's a lot of information, it's a long time, but it sure is worth it. Once you have this piercing and you've healed this piercing, it can be yours for the rest of your life. So thanks so much for listening. And again, if there's anything you need, remember, we don't just pierce you, we work for you.